Hello, this is Michael Silva. In this episode, we are going to talk about teaming up with other consultants. Security consultants often choose to expand their capabilities by forming partnering or teaming relationships with other independent consultants or consulting firms. Teaming arrangements can allow consultants to work on projects that they otherwise would stand no chance of winning on their own. Teaming arrangements are often formed to go after specific projects, such as when pursuing an RFP, but can also be ongoing arrangements between parties that go on for years. Reasons for forming teaming arrangements can include: number one, a project requires a type of expertise that the individual consultant does not possess. For example, a security management consultant may encounter a project opportunity that requires both physical security expertise and cybersecurity expertise. Number two, a project requires that services be performed at multiple geographical locations, some of which are not cost-effective for the individual consultant to serve. For example, a Miami-based consultant may not be able to competitively provide services to a project located in Alaska. Number three, the project is too large for the individual consultant to complete within the allocated time frame. For example, an RFP may state that the client wants security assessments for 40 sites completed within 30 days, which would be impossible for a single consultant to perform. Number four, the project requires a certain type of license or certification that the individual consultant does not possess. For example, an RFP may require that someone on the consulting team possess a CISSP certification, and the individual consultant doesn't possess this credential. Number five, the chances of winning a project would be greatly improved by adding a well-known and highly respected team member in a specific practice area. For example, the chances of an individual consultant winning a project that included requirements for bomb blast analysis could be greatly improved by teaming with a highly recognized bomb blast expert. Number six, the chances of winning a project would be improved by partnering with a team member that the client already knows and trusts. For example, a technical security consultant going after a security design project for a large manufacturing plant might greatly benefit by teaming up with the electrical engineering firm that already does the electrical design work for the plant. While teaming arrangements can offer many benefits, here are some things to think about before entering into a teaming arrangement. First, most clients will want to contract with a single company that is responsible for performing all aspects of the security consulting project. The most common arrangement is to have one firm act as the prime consultant and enter into the contract with the client. All other team members would then act as subcontractors to the prime consultant. Traditionally, the consultant who is performing the largest percentage of the work would act as the prime consultant. But exceptions are sometimes made because of previous relationships between the client and one of the firms, or to comply with licensing or insurance requirements. Second, know who you are teaming with. Use ample due diligence to verify the credentials of any team members who are unknown to you and who you may be working with for the very first time. Third, a person who you have known for many years and maybe even consider to be a friend may perform differently than expected when you team up with them. You just never know. If possible, work with people on a few smaller projects to gauge their actual performance before teaming up with them on a larger project. Fourth, many teaming arrangements are made verbally or through a handshake arrangement between the parties. Although this is commonly done, I highly recommend that a formal written agreement between all parties be drafted at the inception of the project. This agreement should spell out in detail the roles and responsibilities of each team member, the project schedule, the work product and deliverables to be produced by each party, and how each party will be compensated and when. Fifth, a single team member should be appointed to serve as the point of contact with the client. This team member would typically be the prime consultant. All communications to and from the client should be funneled through this team member. Sixth, To the greatest extent possible, all reports and other work products delivered to the client should be consistent in appearance. All reports should use the same format, fonts, and terminology. It often works best to have a single party be assigned the responsibility of master report writer. All other team members submit their work in rough form to the master report writer, who then combines the work of all team members into a single unified report using a consistent format. Seventh, teaming arrangements work best when there is complete transparency, and the client is fully aware that the project is being performed by a group of independent consulting firms rather than just a single firm. Some prime contractors try to create the illusion that the other team members are actually employees of their own consulting firm. To perpetuate this illusion, other team members are given business cards in the prime contractor's name and prohibited from passing out their own business cards when working on a project. I personally won't join teams where I have to play this game. Eighth, independent security consultants need to carefully consider the potential for a conflict of interest before joining a project team that also includes sellers of security products or services. While there is nothing strictly unethical about partnering with a guard company or security systems integrator, there can be challenges when you are called in to objectively evaluate these same companies on other projects in the future. To avoid the potential for these conflicts, I rarely enter into partnerships with sellers of security products or guard services. Ninth, the teaming arrangement should clearly specify who gets any follow-up work that is generated as a result of the initial project. For example, a security management system may team up with a technical security consultant to perform a security assessment for a client. The security management consultant acts as the prime consultant. After the assessment, the client decides that they need a new video surveillance system designed for the facility. Who gets this work? Does the client contract directly with the technical security consultant or with the security management consultant that had the original contract? It is important to clear this up well in advance so there are no disputes about who gets future work.